Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to International Management with Zebu Nation. And today we have, once more, we have the African Cup of Nations qualifications. We're not yet in the tournament. We're trying to qualify for the tournament. Got Liberia going today. So this should be a good matchup. But in the media, we've had several people remind us and say, hey, we can't let our guard down against Liberia. They have some good players, and, Algeria is not out of the weeds yet. We've got a good lead in the group. We're in Group B here, but, things aren't sewn up, so we got to be on our guard for a letdown. Now, elsewhere in the competition, interestingly, Ivory Coast is ahead of Group A over Egypt. Right now, Egypt has a draw with Ethiopia. So that's an interesting turn of events right there. Egypt is 71st. I think most people think of them as one of the better teams in Africa, but it seems that's not the case. They're 71st, which isn't that great, as opposed to Ivory Coast, they're 48th. And what's interesting about Ivory Coast is we play them coming up in November for the World Cup qualification. So we got to keep an eye on Ivory Coast. We're going to scout their game this week to get an idea of just how good they are. 48th in the world is a pretty good position. So we got to watch out for that. How good is Ethiopia? 91st. So the fact that Egypt got a draw versus them, maybe Egypt isn't that strong of a team. Meanwhile, got Gabon is leading Group C. Libya and Malawi are tied atop Group D. How good is Libya? They're one of our rivals, 114th. Not so good, but they're off to a good start, so that's, I guess, good for them. Guinea-Bissau versus Morocco is going to be a big game. Morocco's one of our rivals. They're 36 in the world, so we got to watch out for them. They've got an interesting coach here, Hervé Renard. He looks like he belongs on the cover of a romance novel. Gotta watch out for that guy. Let's see, who else do we got? Group F, Senegal over Cameroon and Kenya. These are big African nations. Not sure how good they are, though. Senegal, 27th in the world, so they are actually very good. How good is Kenya, though? 167. See, this is strange. You'd think that Kenya would be a stronger nation, I guess. But I guess not. I don't know. What do I know, honestly? Which is very little. Tanzania is there with Mali. We're going to be playing Mali also in our next qualification group, so we got to keep an eye on them. 84th in the world. Keep an eye, like I said. We're going to scout their game this week as well. Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Chad are tied for Group G. Group H, there's Tanzania. Sierra Leone is up in Group I. Guinea and Zimbabwe tied for Group J. Sudan and Angola tied for Group K. And Uganda and Niger. Niger's 127th. Is that Nigeria down at the bottom? I know they're supposed to be a strong team. What's up with Nigeria? 35th in the world, so this could be an upset. If they don't make it out of that group, that would definitely be an upset of the tournament for Nigeria to be left out. So we shall see. Speaking of sort of how good teams are and things like that, we didn't really look at the history of our very own club, which maybe we should. We looked at the world rankings. They've been going down and down and down. We dropped all the way to 60th at one point. I mean, this wasn't too long ago. February 2017, we were 29th in the world. So something happened that dropped us all the way down to 60th. Now we're back up to 49th. Maybe this is why there's a vacancy in the coaching position, because this happened. But anyway, we've got one African Cup of Nations victory, one Afro-Asian Cup, African Under-20 Cup, African Games, Mediterranean Games. So not a ton of trophies. I kind of expected a few more trophies. Competitions, African Cup of Nations, we last won it in 1990. I think this was when the so-called Golden Generation occurred. Yeah, golden generation, 1980 to 1990. So as you can see, they were runner-up in 80, third place in 84 and 88, and then they won it in 1990 when all those guys reached, maturity. So there were apparently, according to their Wikipedia page, the dark years, 1990 to 2008. Not a lot happened, and that's sort of backed up here by the record. 2015, though, runner-up in the African Games, so that's pretty good. A lot of these tournaments seem to no longer exist. Runners-up in the Under-17 Cup in 2009. So those guys, by 2020, they should be, well grown up. They should be like 27 years old. So that's probably the group of guys we're dealing with right now are the ones that won or were runner-up in the Under-17 Cup of Nations. Let's see. The board, I guess they're happy with us. 50%. Welcomes you into the role and look forward to your time in charge with optimism. So that's good. They like our tactics already. Satisfied with the impact of the 4-4-2? Not exactly a 4-4-2, but I guess you can call it that if you'd like. We do technically have 4 midfielders. But anyway, sort of a brief history of our club. We got a comeback. This is what we're all about. It's about Algeria bouncing back as a nation, as a soccer program, football. What do they call it? Club football? Anyway, we're going to win some games is what it's all about. And of course, we're going to go with the 4-2-4. Now the question is, are we going to rotate some fellas in? I think we should. We got some guys who are kind of tired, honestly. Sudani, I think we can sub him out. Bring in Silmani. That's an okay move. He can sub in perfectly fine. Oh, what's going on? I didn't want to do that. Okay. I was trying to do this. Just move down. See who we've got deep on the bench. Not a lot of help deep on the bench. But, on the regular bench, we're okay. I think we could sub out our midfield and be okay. 8 Atmani. We can bring him in. I'm going to pronounce his name differently every single time. But Atmani sounds like an interesting way to say that. I like that. And then Hani, I think we can bring him at the box-to-box. No, he is not box-to-box at all. Can he play defensive midfielder? Not at all. So he is much more of an advanced player. But you know what? We're going to play him down there. We're going to go Segundo. Left my wallet in El Segundo. Yep. Ben Sabaini can play defensive midfielder. Is he any better at that? Not really. Not really at all. So that's okay. We'll leave Atmani in there. Mehdi. What can he play? He can play central midfield. Roaming playmaker. Maybe we should put him in instead. How old is he? He's 27 years old, so he's a youngster compared to some of these guys. There we go. He can play box-to-box much better than Hani, so we'll leave Hani, I guess, out of the lineup. Yep. We don't have a lot in the way of strikers on this team. We've only got the 3, so if somebody goes down, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Hani can probably play a little bit of striker. Yeah, he can play a little bit of striker in a pinch, but not necessarily what we want. So I guess this is what we'll go for. How's our defense looking? Our left fullback, he's our best defender. We're probably going to keep him in there. I think we got to keep our defense as it is. Goalkeepers. Sali. I mean, Duka played well. We can't just get him out of there. It'd be nice to get Solly in there, but I don't see a reason to do it. I mean, all of our goalkeepers are fairly equivalent. Janine actually looks pretty good. How's he looking fitness-wise? He's 100% fit. Should we compare him with Duka? I mean, this is probably not what you should do. Probably not what you should do in terms of switching out your goalkeeper just after he won a game. Take a look here. Medi, much better kicking, handling, first touch. Medi better passing, rushing out, same reflexes. Duka actually has the 1 point advantage in technicals, 2 points advantage in mentals. So we're gonna put Duka back in. All right, sorry about that, Janine. We almost got you in there. All right, before we mess around too much, let's submit that team. Let's go. The teams are warming up. This was supposed to be a sellout crowd, but I am seeing no crowd in the stands. So this is not good. They're going with a very, very odd formation. 4-1-3-1-1. I don't really want to say what that looks like. It kind of looks like, you know, an upside down cross, but we're not going to talk about that. But anyway, it's an interesting formation. It's a very narrow formation right down the middle. We'll see if they take advantage of our poor duo in midfield. They could give us some trouble, but we shall see. Maybe we'll give them too much trouble on the wings, because our wingers are probably better than any defenders they have. We should be winning comfortable. Play your game and you'll win. Nobody cares. Opposition instructions. Where is the assistant coach? Okay, his name is probably not Zine, even though it's spelled Zine. Could be. Zine? I don't know. How are their fullbacks? Their fullbacks, looks like number 2 might be coming forward slightly, so we'll sort of watch him. I guess we'll watch number 3 just in case. Not a lot to look out for here. It's going to be them rushing up the middle. Why is the stadium empty? I don't understand. No fans. There's no sound. We are in the home whites, it appears. They're going to try to matriculate the ball down the field. No sound. No crowd. What's the deal? Again, I'm paralyzed by the fact that there's no sound. I'm going to take off my headset. How about that? All right, first highlight. I think they could probably do this all game if they wanted to. Just move the ball around the midfield, but they're not good enough. Faguli gets the steal. Silmani, he's got the target man running for the front of the net. He sends it to... Ugh. That was not a great cross, my man. Gotta get that ball to Gilas. Gilas? I don't know. Slay to Cooper. Dorley, McCauley. You know, I mentioned the American heritage for the nation of Liberia. So they do have a lot of sort of what you might consider American-style names. Oh, there's a little hiccup there in the game. I don't like that. Better not crash. Here we go, Gilas. He's looking. He sends it back post. Silmani just up and over the defenders. Just big boying him right there. I mean, a better defense would have had that. That's for sure. Probably should have taken a little bit closer look at Liberia, but we'll take a look at this highlight first. Gilas gets it out on the wing and just, you know, sends it back post. Easy. Silmani up and over the central defender there. That was too easy. They can't let that happen. So let's take a look for a moment. We'll pause that. take a look for a moment at Liberia. See what we know about their senior squad. Not a lot. Not a lot at all. We did not scout them very well. So maybe we'll know more about them after this game. Looks like they've got several grayed out players, so that's no good, especially along the defense. They've only got one true player on defense. We don't know anything about him. Their goalkeeper is not a real player, their backup keeper, so they got a lot of scrubs on this team, and that's no good. Their highest value player is William Jabor from ALGERIA, 2.1 million, so that's pretty good. Theo Weeks is a pretty good player, 975,000. I mean, they got some decent players, just not enough of them. That's their problem. All right, let's get back to the match. Corner. Budaboos gets it in. Amani. Oh, that should have been a goal. Good defending by the Liberian defense. Dorley grabs that. I mean, they got a scrub goalkeeper, so the more we can pepper him with shots, the better. Mahdi gets it to Selmani. Oh, there's a good defensive play by Liberia, but we keep it going at midfield. Faguli sends it back post. Easy. Budaboos. Riyadh with the goal again. Too easy. Just beat their entire back line. So I got a feeling that it's going to be a party tonight. I mean, we're going to win this game, I feel, pretty easily. I mean, when that happens right there, he just goes right over, through, and above their fullback without any kind of resistance. Budaboos almost gets the steal. Weeks, Dorley. Weeks makes a run. He gets the ball in return. Good stop by Duca. That ball looked like it was going high anyway, but it was a good stop. Got to get some kind of practice while we're here. Here's a corner kick from Dorley. Far side, drops it back to Nimley. Duca had to sort of, I don't know what you'd call that. He just sort of floated his way across goal and got that save. Here's another free kick for the Foxes. No good. I had a subject in mind I was going to talk about. I should have had one ready for this game, considering there's probably going to be a blowout. But I've completely lost my train of thought, and I'm trying to figure it out. It's gone. It's gone to the sands of time. We're starting back up with Montreal. Jabor with a shot. Starting back up with Montreal, we're going to be, having everybody back from international duty. You've got some roster moves to talk about in our next episode, but I don't really want to talk about it here. Almost got another header on goal, but not quite. Now that I'm trying to think of something to talk about, I'm completely blanking. So we can go through the history of Algerian football while we're here. Jabor sends one in. Duca's having to make a lot of saves, so we're not dominating this game as much as we probably should be. Maybe we should hold on to the ball a little bit. Gilas wins the header. Back to Amani. Budaboos, out wide. What are you going to do with it? You're going to get tackled. No, he drops it back. Gulam, who just bolts it in. Silmani. Boy, that shouldn't have been a goal, but it was. He was bracketed by 3 defenders. He sent the header pretty much right at the goalkeeper, who just crumpled under the weight of the pressure. So, that was a good tackle attempt, but Gulam just fires it in, and there's Somani over 2 defenders and through the goalkeeper. 3-0. Apparently in 2020. Oh, that should have been another goal, but no, it wasn't. Apparently in, not 2020, 2010. Apparently Algeria did pretty well for their World Cup qualifier. They qualified for the World Cup in 2014, so that's pretty good. See, how did they do in that matchup? Here's Zebu, gets it forward. Amani with an easy goal. 4-0. Things are looking rough. Road to Brazil. Made history in the 2014 World Cup. Here's that goal. Ait Amane with an easy goal. So they played in a group with South Korea, Belgium, Russia. It's a pretty good group. Algeria played Russia for second place in Group H. Russia scored the opening goal, but Silmani became a hero by scoring the equalizer and carried Algeria to the second round of the World Cup. Good for them. They were narrowly defeated by eventual champions Germany, so they had a good run in 2014. If we can do that, I think we'd be happy. So that's going to be our target. Going to be at least second round of the World Cup. That might be pretty difficult, but if we can get it done, that would be pretty good. Maybe even, get a little farther. If we don't get a team like Germany, maybe we could get a little farther. But that's definitely good recent history, and with these players too. Faguli scored a goal. Silmani scored a goal. Brahimi, is he on the team? Don't see Brahimi. We'll have to look for him in the player pool. All right. 2 minutes of stoppage time. Let's get to half. 4-0 up. This should be more than enough. So first of all, let us drop down to key highlights. I don't think we need every extended highlight to run out the half. Then we're going to go to tactics. Team instructions. We're going to do what we do. Retain possession. Work the ball in the box. Go to a lower tempo. Just sort of, hold things. Let's go to the dressing room. Pep talk. Very pleased with your performance. Keep it up. Anything else we need to do? Look at those ratings. 7.1, 7.2, 7.4, 7.8, 8.2, 8.9 for Zebu. So we're killing them. There's no question about that. Everybody's playing well. Everybody's having a good time. So we could bring in some subs in the second half for sure. Silmani's working on a hat trick. Probably keep him in there. I should have put some other guys on the bench, some guys who haven't played. I guess, still new to this team. We don't want to take too many things for granted. But it's obvious that we've got superior quality over a team like Liberia. We didn't want a shocking upset, that's for sure. But also, we'd like to get some more guys playing time and integrate some more guys into the squad. Like our first press conference noted, we got some problems in terms of age of this squad. Silmani can't get the hat trick. And I was looking through the player pool, and there's not a lot of young players, honestly. Everybody is sort of mid-20s and older. There's a small group of under 20s, but it's pretty small. It's not enough to field a full 11 for an under 20s team. So we got a lot of issues in that area. I've been sort of doing a little bit of sneaky scouting with Vancouver Just trying to look for any Algerian prospects. I'm sending one of my scouts over to Algeria to look around. Oof, that could have been a goal. Who was that? That was Ben Lamry, who almost got that. He's got a 7.7 rating at central defense. Yeah, he could have easily scored there. Only 5 finishing, though. 12 composure. That's really good. Goulam. Gonna get it out to Boudabous. Centering pass for Faguli. There's Fagoli. All right, so I think we can get Goulam out of there. He is our best player, at least our best defensive player. So we're going to get him out of there. Faguli got his goal. Right wing. Do we want to put Brahimi? Nah, he's 30 years old. So Donnie, 32, not really Teder. I mean, we should have put some of our younger guys on the bench. He's got the 24-year-old Zadadka, Akim Zadadka. We'll bring him in at right back. There we go. That's pretty much all the substitutions we can make. Everybody else shouldn't probably be on the bench, but here we go. Gonna show that goal again. Boudabous, Faguli. Too easy again, just way too easy. Clock is rolling now, 64 minutes. I suppose we could sub out the goalkeeper, but that might not be the smartest idea in the world. Here's Dorley with the corner kick, sends it in. Boudabous heads it out. Back to Dorley. He's going to try to send it in. He takes a touch. Centers for Johnson, who scores. Look out. Liberia gets one back. So they're not going to be held scoreless. They will not be denied. Nimley to Dorley. He takes a touch. I didn't think he should have done that with two guys closing down on him, but what do I know? He uses that as sort of a bait and switch. He brings the defense towards him, and he gets the ball to Johnson. Splits the defense. So that was a good play, actually. What is Johnson? He was their substitute who came in. 26 years old. Contracted to Valerenga. Don't know anything about him whatsoever other than his contract. Valued at $450,000, making $80,000 a year. Good for you, getting paid, young man. 79 minutes. We still got a while to go. Here's Johnson again on the run. Oof, that was close. That could have been another goal. That would have made things interesting. Gonna have to watch out for that. These guys are, we did bring in some new defenders who aren't playing so good. 6.6, 6.7. They're not keeping up with the rest of the team. There's Dorley gonna play it short. Looks like they've changed their formation a little bit. 2-3, 3-1-1. Maybe they brought their fullbacks up to wingbacks. Boudabous, round one man. Sends it back first. Silmani can't get his hat trick. He's still waiting. 87 minutes down. Boudabous is a little tired, but he's got 9.4, 2 assists. All right, we got 1 minute of stoppage time left. Kojo with a throw-in, intercepted. But Macaulay gathers it in for Liberia. They're going to take one last poke at it and try to poke the bear, poke the fox. Sekou, just sort of undisturbed, sends it forward to Johnson. Header, but Duka is there. So is our defense good enough to beat better teams? I don't know. I mean, we beat one pretty good team. Shutout, 2-0, so that's pretty good. But I don't know. I mean, Liberia, they're getting some chances against us. I mean, That was a little bit scarier than it should have been right at the whistle. There we go, 5-1. So we got some things to think about. I mean, we played well overall. When we brought in our backup defenders, maybe not so much. So we got issues if we lose any of our starting defenders. Like I said, we're very, very weak there. Sort of weak in the midfield as well. Sort of weak at goalkeeper. We got, 3 basically identical guys who aren't necessarily top flight keepers. Good win, boys. Well done. Let's go. Get out of here. Lots of great ratings. Egypt smashes Ivory Coast 4-1. That's a shocker. Libya beats Tunisia. That was probably a pretty heated affair right there. Rwanda loses to Guinea-Bissau. Kenya with the draw. Mali 1-0 over Tanzania, so we got to watch out for them. Like I said, that's a team we're going to be playing later in the season. Zimbabwe with the victory. Angola, South Africa over Niger. South Africa is the only African nation you can load currently. So they probably have a bit of a leg up in these sort of competitions. As you can see, they got all real players. Guys from Celtic. I mean, they got some pretty decent valued guys. AS Saint Etienne, 3.1 million. So you got guys from all of the Kaiser Chiefs. I can't look at that football club without thinking of the band, the Kaiser Chiefs. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Goal glut for Algeria. Group B demolition, that is true. Boudabous, stellar for Algeria. 1 goal, 2 assists, 9.4 rating, 9 dribbles, 6 key passes, so he played very well. Ben Sebaini, pleased with the win. Good. Algeria on course. So the board is okay with us. Algeria squad reacts positively to the Liberia result. That's good. Every match they're getting a little bit more confident in my management abilities. I don't know why. I was going to say competent for some reason, but I knew that wasn't right. And I was going to say confident, but it came out confident. Anyway, they're getting more confident in my management game by game, so that's good. That's what you're looking for. All right, what do we got next? We got 6 points in the group. I think we're pretty much gonna win this. I don't know how many more games we got left. Do we play each team twice? Zambia. Have not played Zambia yet, so we got to play them. We're not going to play that until September. Then after that, we got... I mean, we could probably look on our own schedule, right? They would be there by now. Yeah. So Zambia, then Liberia again. Then Ghana again, Ivory Coast. We don't play Zambia again until November after the World Cup qualifying. So this qualification stage is going to be all year long. It's going to be from now until November, and in between is going to be the World Cup qualifying. All right. So it's going to be an interesting ride, a long ride. We're going to be with Algeria for a while, unless a Canadian job comes open. If a Canadian job comes open, we'll jump ship. But that's pretty much the only exception. Anything else will stick with Algeria. To say that particular final score was in the cards would be exaggerated. Do we care about this? We don't. Let's do what we normally do and send our assistant. Let's give our assistant something to do. So up next, big win. Up next, we got a Montreal matchup. versus Columbus Crew. So that's going to be our next episode, because that's an important game. Even though we've beat Columbus several times, we got to keep playing those boys. We got to keep knocking them down, down the pegs. And then we've got Lyon in the Champions League semifinal. That's another huge game, so we'll probably get to that. I mean, we've hardly played any MLS games. We've only played 3 MLS games this season, so it's definitely a weird and wacky season. We're going to get more Champions League coming up, more games with Algeria, so Canadian Championship coming up. So it's going to be just a broken up season, and we'll see if we can keep our concentration for the full year. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.